Hey, Mr. Crowder here again for the second part of the video. Um, Again, going to go quick because I only got 5 minutes. So we're going to look at today at some of the groups that were coming into the United States and then a little bit more into detail of the nativist and the Know Nothing Party. So groups that were coming into the country in the 1850s through about the 1880s, 1890s. You have the British, obviously, and they didn't have a pretty too tough of a time because they were pretty skilled. They were coming over here to work in factories, and they spoke and believed many of the same things Americans at the time did. The Irish, obviously, from looking at the rest of the notebook, that they were pushed out of their country because of the potato famine. They came here and were hugely discriminated against. They were Catholic. Most Americans at the time were Protestant. The Irish were also viewed as unskilled, as drunks, and so they got some really crummy jobs. They competed against the free blacks, and many of them joined the railroads. Not a good job, but it was better than nothing. The Germans, they came here, and many of them moved out west to some of the larger towns that were growing out west. They were skilled bakers, butchers, brewers, carpenters, and so they had it pretty well. They were pretty wealthy when they moved here to begin with, and in the United States, a lot of towns in the Midwest have a large or strong German heritage and population. Then you have the Scandinavian countries, countries like Sweden, Denmark, Norway. They came here mainly for land. They moved to places that were very similar to their homeland. So they went to Wisconsin, Minnesota. That is why we have the football team, the Minnesota Vikings, in honor of the Scandinavian countries. And then you have the Chinese. They came obviously on the West Coast and during the gold rush. And after, they were very poorly mistreated. They were the first immigrants that looked differently than, quote unquote, the Caucasian Americans at the time. And so they were hugely discriminated against and faced a lot of hardships. They also joined the railroads during the time. Okay, next thing, nativist wanted to eliminate foreign influence. They create a party that becomes nicknamed the Know Nothing Party. It was actually officially known as the American Party, but it was a secret society. And so when know nothing about that. And so the Know Nothing Party is way more famous and known than the actual name, which was the American Party. They specifically targeted anti-immigration policies, anti-Catholic, most of the Irish Catholic at the time. And for only about 2 years, they didn't have any power. They elected a couple representatives into Congress. They tried to get Millard Fillmore elected president. He came in third behind the Democrat and Republican nominees. So this Know Nothing Party very quickly disappears, but some of its ideas and values do echo throughout our history of anti-immigration, anti-religion, and trying to restrict people based on how they looked, what skills they had, what countries they came from. So that's just a little bit about what countries came here, what groups came here, and then a little bit about the Know Nothing / the American Party in the 1800s. So thanks for watching, guys, and hope you finish up the rest of the notebook. All right, take care.